trace this eggplant, and I am going to use quite a few big brushes because I don't want to go in with a fine brush, because then I start adding a lot of detail, and I don't want to add a lot of detail to my painting. So this will be quite quick. The only thing that will take quite long is for me to wait in between the drying process, because the paper must be absolutely dry. It's very important, because you will just ruin your painting. So that's the beautiful color that we want. I just want to move a little bit to there, and I want to add a little bit of the Payne's Grey in there, because that's the other beautiful color that we will be using. It's a little bit of alizarin crimson and ultramarine blue and Payne's Grey for the darker section, and you can see these colors are absolutely beautiful. So there's permanent alizarin crimson, and that's ultramarine blue. This is QoRwatercolours, and this is the Payne's Grey. I'm using my QoRwatercolours that I ordered quite a while ago, and I've been using them quite a lot, but recently I want to experiment with them a lot more. I think they don't get all the credit they deserve. So let's wet this. So we want to either keep the paper wet the whole time while we drop in the colors. It's quite a hot day, yeah? Hot autumn day, and so hopefully it will stay wet enough. My paper might buckle a bit, but that's fine. So I'm going to drop in this very dark, beautiful color that we mixed. Let me just get a bit more, because there's a darker section here, so I don't mind it all running, and you can just see how beautiful this color just runs all over the place. So we just want to take it slowly. It's so gorgeous. It's like tiny little spider webs. How amazing. Okay, I'm going to take it to there to mix a bit of that purple in there. And I'm just going to go with the tip of my brush to there. And this brush is the Kum Memory point brush. And then there's a highlighted section here, and as you can see my paper is drying, so I'm just going to wet this little section here again. Just going to get my brush with water on, and I'm just going to re-wet this section here, because we don't want don't want the paper to dry yet. And I'm going to just lift up some of this paint here, because I do want the paint to stain the paper, but I don't want it to be too dark. I don't want a too dark section there. So again, I'm just going to take my brush and drop in color there. And now I'm just going to use the brush and just go around and just, I also lift up a little bit of the pigment on my brush, and then I just wipe it off. And again, that's and I do want to have a clean edge there. So okay. let's put some darker because the paper is still wet, so it gives me enough time to quickly darken some of these. We just move this in the view, so it gives me enough time to darken some of these little sections while the paper is wet. Then just a little line there. Just going to let it run to there. And now I am going to take my brush and just slowly move it through there. As you can see, this brush also lifts up a lot of the pigment. You can flatten it and use the tip. And then I'm going to just clean these little lines, and then we're going to leave it to dry. And then I just want to drop in a little bit more here because it's quite a dark section there. So I can only do this because the paper is still wet. And now I'm going to leave all of that to dry. Just want to lift up all of those little lines there that I can see. Okay. Okay, that's perfect. So that's it. I'm going to leave that now to dry completely. And now I'm going to wet this section here, and we're going to add in all the sap green, and we're going to make a mix with yellow ochre. So I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to come back now. And I just want to go in and paint this little section here, so it's quite dark. Go. So now we are going to go to the top part here, and I'm going to just take my brush and just wet that section. So I want to be very careful of this section because it's still busy drying. So I'm just going to go in here. Not going to go totally to the edges there. I'm just going to drop in some of the green. Just going to move it around. you go. Now we want that to dry, and I sort of feel that is dry, so I just want to go in there and go and painting. Oops, need a bit more color on there. See, that's what I didn't want, but I'll just lift that out now, and we're gonna just move it. Just going to take the tip of my paper and just dab it in there to lift up a little bit of that. So I'm going to leave that because it looks like it's part of the painting or the stem. And then I want a little bit of Payne's grey, so that's yellow ochre, Payne's grey, and burnt sienna. Might need a bit more Payne's grey, so I don't want too much on my brush. So the paper is still wet, so I'm just going to go slowly in there, dab in a little bit of these little markings I can see. Then I'm going to go back with my brush and just lift some up. And this little section is brown. And then I'm going to go in and there's a little section there. So I'm just going to go in with my tip of my brush and just make tiny little lines. Just gonna pick up some of these little some of the colors that we put down. I'm just using a bit of my sap green just to darken that section. And then I use my clean brush just to soften those hard lines. And again, some of the brown mixture. And just use the tip of your brush